This is the story about the mine and town of Christmas, Arizona. This old mine is just a few short miles away from the town of Winkleman. It was in the early 1880s that two prospectors, Bill Tweed and Dennis O'Brien, staked some mining claims in the Dripping Springs mountain range. Like most prospectors, these two guys were most likely cashed out and broke, so they sold the claims to a man by the name of James Douglas. Now, this James Douglas fellow was the president of Phelps Dodge, which was a big mining company. However, when they went to register these claims, they quickly found out that these claims were on Indian reservation land and couldn't do any work because of a few rules that were tied to federal laws. So basically, the ground where these claims were supposedly staked just sat idle for almost 20 years, while Phelps Dodge lobbied the government to remove the claims from the reservation. In the meantime, the company hired O'Brien to watch the claims to prevent any claim jumping. Now, while all this idle time was going on, another prospector by the name of George Chittenden was eyeing up these claims as well. This George fella had some connections with some folks inside the federal government and was able to get some boundary lines for the reservation moved around to free up these claims. Then in 1902, the bill was passed to move the boundary lines, and on the morning of December 25, 1902, George and a partner rode in and staked these claims for themselves. So, where was Dennis O'Brien, the man hired to keep an eye out on the property? Well, it is said that he had slipped off into the nearby town of Globe for some festive cheer at the local saloon. After all, it was Christmas. I would imagine his New Year's resolution would be how to get a new job. This new company that got these claims was called the Saddle Mountain Mining Company, and these guys were real quick to get things rolling on these claims. By 1905, there were underground workings that exceeded 300 feet in depth, and that same year a new 150-ton smelter was constructed. There was said to be almost 600 men on the payroll. The company had to build a road into this mine, and this road was almost 70 miles long. It didn't take long to figure out that the transportation costs of supplies, along with high mining costs being out in the middle of nowhere, were taking a toll on the mine's profits. Then, in 1907, there was the financial panic and copper prices took a hit, and so with just barely 2 short years of production, the mine closed down. Then in 1909, the mine was taken over by the Gila Copper and Sulfide Company. These new mine owners spent a few $100,000 in upgrades of the mining operations, and they also built a railroad into the mine site over to Winkleman. This cut shipping costs down a lot. However, like most mining companies, despite these improvements, the company ran short of money and had to close the mine down. Fast forward a few years to 1916, the company then partnered with the American Smelting and Refining Company. This company lent them more money, but there was a catch. Being as this new company was in the smelting business, they would get all the ore for the next 10 years of mining. Over the next few years, the company built a 7,000-foot aerial tram. This tramway had the capacity of 50 tons per hour. It ran from a 250-ton ore bin at the number 3 shaft to a 1,000-ton ore bin near the railroad connection. During these years, the small town of Christmas grew as there was steady employment. The town had almost everything you would want for a population of around 1,000 residents. There was a few dry goods stores, a couple of clothing stores, a barber shop, a pool hall, a saloon, and a school. After the First World War, copper prices collapsed, and in 1921 the mine was shut down and the company filed for bankruptcy. Then in 1925, a new company called Mineral Products bought the mine and built a new mill. Underground mining continued until the early 1960s when the ground became unstable. At this point in time, they started to open pit mine. This open pit mine closed in 1982. Throughout the mine's history, a total of 26 million tons of ore was extracted from 1905 to 1981. This ore produced 362 million pounds of copper, 55,000 ounces of gold, and just a bit over 2 million ounces of silver. An interesting conclusion to this mining story is the fact that after almost 100 years since the Phelps Dodge Company lost this mine, they were able to reacquire this mine through its merger with another company called Cyprus AMAX Mines. This company is known to have owned this mine for a period of time. Records as of today, however, show that the old Christmas mine property belongs to Freeport-McMoRan. Well, that's it for this video. I sure hope you enjoyed this short story about the mine of Christmas, Arizona, and now you know how this town and mine got its name. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you more old, lost mine stories.